Hello everyone and welcome to the 17th installment of Yid Talks, and tonight's talk is entitled The Wisdom of Man. This topic is kind of a subset of a topic that I spoke about earlier in my Yid Talk, in the beginning of Yid Talk, which was so long ago. Really, it's been about a month, I think, maybe a month or maybe 5 weeks or so. The greater picture and the kind of subset of wisdom of man is really the greatness of Hashem. This is kind of a topic that I am finding myself continually coming back to because it inspires me to see things around me that I wouldn't normally see or normally think about, and I believe that brings me closer to God. I believe that that's a connection that man can take to develop the relationship with God. My own practice in my own days, it's something that I'm working on little by little. Revolves, in the duties of the heart. I think it's Rev Bachya. He mentions in the second chapter, which is, I believe it's Shar Habachina, the chapter of reflection. He devotes an entire chapter of the volume, the 2-volume set of Chavos Levavos, specifically to this topic of contemplating God's greatness in the world. Today, like I said, I want to speak specifically about the wisdom of man. Anytime a person goes to the bathroom, comes out, has an opportunity to bless God for allowing one's facilities to work properly. Something we all take for granted very easily, but it, with the proper intention and kind of the proper thought and the kind of contemplation on this blessing that we say when we leave the bathroom, it can really give us a sense of greater gratitude for something that we typically don't think about, which is the fact that our bodies work properly. Thank God. So the beginning of that blessing, it starts with Baruch Atah Hashem, blessed are you God, Elokeinu Melech HaOlam, our God, the King of the world, Asher Yatzar Es Ha'adam B'Chachma, that creates man b'chachma, with wisdom. And that's what I want to focus on tonight. I think a person may typically think, when doing this blessing, when it speaks about the wisdom of man, it's related to the system of digestion and how we input and output food and drink, and how unbelievably amazing that system is. The fact that, for most people, most of the time, it works in such a marvelous, efficient way. I think that, like with many other things in Torah, it can be interpreted in many different ways. And in this particular sense, I would like to speak about it in terms of our process of our thoughts and our minds. When we say that man was created with wisdom, with bechachma, with wisdom, I thought about it earlier today. I was just sitting in my home. I was trying to find a subject of contemplation related to the greatness of God. And I was looking around me, and there were no windows open. There was nothing really of particular interest to look at. So I just thought about the way I was thinking in that moment. And I was looking around with my eyes. I was developing thoughts through the things that I was seeing. And I was taking those thoughts and I was building onto new ideas from those thoughts and interpreting it to come up with a more developed thought. If that makes any sense. So let's take this image that we see right here, and if we were just to think, I see this mountain, and I think to myself, where's this mountain from? What was the process and thought of what the artist had in mind when he created this picture? What's that little man thinking about when he's staring at that mountain? When was the mountain, when was the painting created? And what was the thought process of the painter who decided to paint such a picture? All these thoughts are happening at such a speed that we can't even imagine. There's no comparison in the natural world. There's no way to imagine the speed at which our thoughts develop and how they are processed. Highlight this point is me speaking right now. Me speaking to hopefully an audience. The words that are coming out of my mouth at this very moment are being processed in your ears in such a way that as I continue to speak in real time, you're processing all the information of which I speak about and creating your own reaction, creating your own interpretation of whatever I'm saying. It's really a wonder, and I believe that the more that we can take out of our days and contemplate these thoughts, just you take anything around you, you can think about the complexity, the beauty, the wonder of that thing. And that's what happened when I thought about thinking, about man's thinking. Asher Yatzar es Hadam b'chachma, that man was created with wisdom. And that's just one of the millions of different amazing things about the human being. That the thought can be developed much more than, a 10-minute talk on YouTube. I feel very strongly that this is a key to our service to God, is to contemplate, to think more about the wonders that surround us at all times. It allows us to have a deeper gratitude for everything that is given to us, but it also opens up our minds. It opens up our minds to the wonders of the world that we live in. It's so easy to feel like this world is boring. No? Come on, who doesn't get bored? That's what the internet's for. That's what the endless amount of distraction is for, because things get boring. But maybe, just maybe, if we were to open up our minds to the wonders around us, life would not only be more exciting and less boring, but life would even have the potential to be like a dream. You think of a dream that you have, and it's wondrous. It's, I think, a good word for a dream. It's wondrous. There's monkeys flying in the air. You can have, a carnival on the moon. I don't know. Tell me if anyone dreams of any of these things tonight. Dreaming could be our living life, our waking life, if we were to open up to the wonders around us. And we can open up to those wonders around us by learning and contemplating the beauty and wisdom of man. We have the capability of nothing that's comparable in this world. The way that we can think, the way that we can be there for other things in this world, the compassion that we can have, the mercy that we can have, the intellect that we can have, the imagination that we can have. There's no animal that compares to man. I wanted to bring this out tonight. I wanted to bring out Asher Yatzar es Hadam b'chachma in a new way, that God created man b'chachma, with wisdom, and to hopefully relate that and to maybe create a spark in the world that we live in today. I really do see a direction for Yid Talks, which is really making these segments about the greatness of the world around us and relating that back to God. God is a scary subject for a lot of people, but I ain't gonna be no scared about that no more. I'm here, and it's a great pleasure of mine to speak out in this way. So I hope everybody enjoyed this edition of Yid Talks, which was a little strange. Probably my first editing job of Yid Talks is this installment, because the talk cut out in the middle. My phone malfunctioned, and I had to sort of pick up from where I left off, and there was a few little mishaps in between. So you might see your first edit of Yid Talks, and I hope that's something that you guys are hearing it in a lot of my conversations, that I hope that's something that I continue to come closer to doing, which would be editing and making that a good process of these films. So thank you guys for listening, and have a great day.